Welcome to Paradise Games, where exceptional service meets the ultimate gaming experience. Our dedicated team is here to make every visit a win.
Now this is paradise.
This is more than just a place to play.
Now this is paradise.
It's where excitement meets world-class service.
Now this is paradise.
Now this is paradise.
Come, experience it for yourself. Now this is paradise.
Man, I gotta clean up in here, man, and they're dirty.
We're looking at giving you some help, man.
But who is, boy?
A talking tree?
Where is?
This is Panalan Pine Island, where every scent brings a different world. We've got lavender, floral, and moth. But today, it's about the pine. Try it.
All right, thanks, man. I appreciate it, man. Appreciate it.
Hey, boy.
Huh?
2 push and 2 pace.
This magical pine potion gives you 28 uses per bottle, twice as concentrated, all with real pine oil freshness. Panalan. Twice the power, twice the freshness.
With BGC's crystal clear mobile service, stay connected seamlessly, whether on land or at sea. Our reliable postpaid plans keep your loved ones closer, no matter where life takes you.
The road to progress is paved with purpose, and in Exuma, Bahamas Striping Group of Companies is leading the way. We're transforming communities with safer, smoother, and stronger roads. This isn't just infrastructure, it's empowerment, it's jobs, and it's a better future for Exumians. Bahamas Striping, we're paving the way forward.
And good afternoon, folks, and welcome back to the afternoon coverage, live coverage of the 69th Annual National Family Island Regatta from beautiful Elizabeth Harbor here in Georgetown, Exuma. I'm Stafford Captain Plug Patterson. I'm going to be bringing you commentary along with my co-host Dwight Hart, who's still downstairs getting a conch salad, I think. Anyhow, we're getting ready for the B-class race this afternoon. We got 8 boats entered here, and they're mostly all out in the line now, so I think the start is going to be coming up pretty soon. This race is the B-class race. It's the Islander Ocean Spirit is the sponsor. So still got the breeze we've had all regatta long, blowing about 16 out of the northeasterly direction. But they got the 8 B-class boats out here in the start line, all ready to go for this afternoon's first points series cup race. The 8 boats are all pretty much in position now, and as they do with the A class, the starting positions were picked during the skipper's meeting on Tuesday night. So we have starting again in the first position is the Susan Chase, skippered by Stephen Knowles out of Long Island. Lined up next to him in second, we have the Cobra, Dwayne Higgins. In third starting position, you have the boat out of Abaco, Lonesome Dove, with Jeff Gale on the skipper. Fourth starting position, Lady Sonia, Buzzy Roll out of Exuma. Fifth starting position, Terry Ann, Young Joss Knowles from Exuma. Starting in sixth, we have Ant's Nest with Leon Brister on the tiller. Seventh starting position goes to Udiva. And seventh starting position is the Barbarian, and 8th is the Udiva. So we'll be getting going shortly here. Boats are all anchored. Just waiting for the signal from the race committee. And I see them out there in front of the fleet. Looks like they're picking up the 200-foot marker floats. You're not allowed to anchor beyond 200 feet from the start line. So we should be getting going in a few minutes here. So the race committee is getting into position for the start. Crews are all standing at ready with the anchor ropes in their hand. Here in the Bahamas, our sloop sailing, we don't do flying starts. We start at the designated point with the boat at anchor and the sails down. Once they fire the starting gun, it's heave ho, hoist your sails, and go. We should be pretty close. Crews are all ready. And my co-host Dwight is here, and he's got himself a gin and coconut water. You have a good lunch, Dwight?
Absolutely, and I'm ready for some B-class sailing. It looks like they're underway.
There we
Captain
go.
Clark?
Yep, just gotten going. I gave the starting lineup.
All righty.
So let's see who can get clear first and get their sails up and get out into that clean air.
Well, I spoke with Buzzy Roll earlier today after coming off that fresh win yesterday evening on Silent Partner, and again, beating everybody out in Class C today, and he's feeling good. His confidence level is way up there. Good, clean start. I believe Lady Sonia's still pulling anchor. No sail up as yet.
And we got one boat there.
Tarian fluttering in the wind, number 33.
33, drifting back a little bit.
Anne's Nest is off. Barbarian is off. Udiva is off.
Looks like a pretty clean start, except for one boat over here to the
Lady Sonia.
Lady Sonia
Still
struggling
on the
a bit.
line. And that's not going to do them well. Yesterday they had a man overboard, which knocked them out of the race altogether.
Boy, they're losing time like crazy. And I think the other boat that's drifting back is the Cobra.
Cobra going backwards. Lady Sonia getting the jib up, but nothing else. Cobra looks like she's going to tip over, and if they're not careful, that boat is going to sink right there on the spot. Looks like they got it righted again. And Lady Sonia having all kinds of issues with the sail, finally getting the main sheet up.
Meanwhile, out front, you got a Lonesome Dove, you got Susan Chase, you got a Udiva clear, and heading over to the left side of the course on starboard tack.
Followed by Tarian, Barbarian, and Ant's Nest. And so Lady Sonia's got a lot of work to do to try to get back in this.
Cobra's still struggling.
Struggling. Not sure, she may have, it looks like she may be undermanned right now. They're having a hell of a time just trying to keep that boat righted.
Susan Chase and Lonesome Dove on the right side of your TV screen. Udiva in the middle.
Well, I don't think Udiva's got the horsepower to hang with Susan Chase and Lonesome Dove, so.
Quite a bit to leeward.
And in short order, I believe those top two boats, Long Island and Abaco, they're going to separate themselves from the rest of the fleet.
Susan Chase to the windward of Lonesome Dove. Always an advantage to be there.
Looking at the sail of Tarian fluttering in a bit. They don't seem to have a full sail at the moment. Udiva, likewise, more fluttering going on. Compare those sails to the sails of Lonesome Dove and Susan Chase. Yesterday, I think we kind of surmised that Lonesome Dove may have been carrying a smaller sail than was probably suited to contest and fight against Susan Chase carrying that bigger sail. I don't know, today it seems to be the same main sheet she's carrying.
Well, they came in at the last minute and made a sail change. I'm not sure exactly which one they put on.
Okay.
But Chase sail does look a little bigger.
Just a bit. Ant's Nest to her left, Udiva to her right. Running outside Barbarian. And now Sonia trying to get back into the mix of things. Cobra bringing up the rear.
Well, as they did in the C-class race this morning, the boats are headed over towards the middle to the left side of the course, which must be the favored side today. I don't have anybody coming over here to the starboard side by the freight dock.
And just as you say that, Tarian has decided to go on her starboard lay, and she's gonna make her way up. Likewise, you see Susan Chase doing the same. Dove not yet deciding to cover. She's gonna go out a bit further. And I believe Jeff Gale is gonna try to make it a one shot to the mark, while the other boats may have to do a port tack back to the mark.
Less tacking saves you time, and Okay, Dove's coming over now.
All right, Dove's seen enough. Decided to do the cover.
The race course today is a windward, leeward, windward, leeward, windward, and then finish downwind by the freight dock, according to the race committee just before they started.
I see. So a complete 2.5.
2.5 for sure, and then one short leg to come down to the finish. So a little longer than what the C-Class crews sailed this morning.
Yep.
But that third windward gives boats in the back a chance to exercise their strategy and perhaps improve their position. Susan Chase looking pretty good right now. Lonesome Dove in second.
On your screens at the bottom, number 33, Tarianne. In the middle of the screen, number 4, Susan Chase. Just above her is the Lonesome Dove, just to the left of your screens. And Susan Chase powering along pretty good.
She's got on a pretty big sail there. It goes almost up to the top of the mast and definitely almost out to the end of the boom. Yep.
Compare that to the Dove. The Dove has still got about 6 feet sticking out. Maybe not that long, but 3 to 4 feet for sure.
Definitely a size difference. Susan Chase making pretty good speed there. You can see the bow wave coming off her.
And standing up straight. No bobbing, no weaving. And so we're going to follow along and watch these boats make their way up to the windward mark. And once they get there, it really tells us who's where, what, and by how much.
Susan Chase out front. Dove above them, probably in second.
It looks like Udiva still holding on to 4th place, but Lady Sonia, after another horrendous start, man overboard yesterday, couldn't get the sails hoisted today, but she seems to have sailed herself back into 5th place, and knowing Buzzy, he's probably going to improve on that position before they get to the first windward buoy.
Fleet headed their way up to windward marker over by Stocking Island.
Coming into view right now, the course, I believe, a little bit shorter, but they're going to do an additional half lap. It looks like the Dove is on a direct line. Sorry, the Susan Chase on a direct line to that mark.
They're pretty close to the ley line. They might, well, they're all going to need to tack when they get there, but be interesting to see how the Lonesome Dove strategy pays out. They're considerably above.
Yep. And the Dove may be able to make it right to the mark and just do a quick loop around as opposed to having to go on any extended track after the tack.
The only disadvantage to that, if they Dove does go right to the marker, is they'll be coming in on port tack. Not an ideal situation.
Only if you can get there quicker.
You can get there first. That's the object.
The shot there of the Tarianne at the bottom, number 33, number 4, Susan Chase.
Tarianne, looks like they still need to work on their sail trim a bit.
Yep. And I could tell you, I believe that Susan Chase is going to have the advantage on the bed just because she has a bigger main sheet.
Agreed.
So if you're going to catch her, you got to catch her on the upwind leg.
There's the windward marker coming in the right center of your screen. A bright yellow tetrahedron.
So the Susan Chase definitely going to have to do a tack and come back. And while she's tacking back, the Dove will get closer to the mark. But is that enough for her to get there before the Susan Chase? We'll see.
Looks like it might be fairly close.
It's going to be fairly close, I believe. Maybe even closer than we're thinking and seeing right now.
Race committee there getting in position. to observe any infractions.
I believe we'll see the Susan Chase coming around on her port tack right now.
There
Here
she
she
goes.
comes. And let's see. Captain Plug.
See how quick.
Can you call it? Can you go out on a limb and call it?
I'm going to say right now that it's going to be close.
I'm going to say that the Dove is going to beat it to the mark.
It sure looks like it right now, but they still got a tack over.
And there comes the tack.
If they can establish themselves on starboard tack before Susan Chase gets there, they'll be okay.
And I believe they've done exactly that.
There's the tack. Boy, look at that boom sticking out there with no sail on it.
Yeah, that's definitely a much smaller sail. And I believe they were in the same position yesterday.
They were.
And Susan Chase with that bigger
Okay.
sail.
Lonesome Dove is flying a number 72 sail, so they borrowed a sail off the It Ain't Right.
Wow.
So that's sail says 72, but it's actually number 18, the Lonesome Dove.
Lonesome Dove around in first place, followed by Susan Chase. So we'll see right now whether the bigger sail is going to give them the extra power needed.
Stefan's going to go right for that inside line. He's going around. You're not allowed to follow directly behind. No betting.
And coming towards the mark right now, it looks like it's going to be, from this angle, I see Ant's Nest, but I believe Tarian is in the picture somewhere.
That's Nest coming to the marker in third place.
And just below the Tarian is going to cut her.
Darien coming in on starboard tack with the right of way.
And it's going to be nifty close between Udiva and Ant's Nest.
Ant's Nest getting dirty air off of Tarian's sail. And Udiva going to duck on the inside of them.
And Ant's Nest is going to have to settle down for fifth, I believe.
Ant's Nest definitely going to lose their position.
And here comes the Susan Chase with that big, big extra size sail. Just powering down on the Dove. And Ant's Nest
Floundering.
as floundering misstage, trying to do a quick tack, but she's going to lose some ground.
Meanwhile, Tarian and Udiva are clear of the windward marker and heading down.
I believe Lady Sonia is going to be next in view. After the terrible start once again. Buzzy doing well in A and C, but B has been a disaster for him thus far.
Lonesome Dove still holding on the Chase back, but I don't think it's going to be for long.
No, I believe that the Chase is going to get her. The Chase is going to get her. And so they're going to have to depend now on that upwind leg to recapture the lead. But right now, it's fair to say that the Susan Chase has got more horsepower going downwind. And I believe that really is because of the huge difference in main sheet. They're neck and neck at the moment. Neck and neck. You can't even tell that there's two boats.
I see the bowman keeping his eye on things, probably helping to trim the sail. Keep that whisker pole flat.
It's very close, very close. But Susan Chase inching forward.
So when they get to the leeward marker, it'll be a starboard rounding. They'll leave the marker to the right-hand side of the boat as you face the front or the bow. Starboard rounding. No jabbing. It's too risky with these winds.
Susan Chase not there yet. The Dove finding just a little extra bit of speed. Just a little extra bit. First and second, very close. Third and fourth, very close. Tarian and Udiva.
So this B-class race is sponsored by Islander B Ocean Spirit, the Islander B. And we thank them very much for their support of the 69th Annual National Family Island Regatta. Sponsorship, corporate sponsorship is a good way to get your product, name, and image out in front of hundreds and hundreds of people locally, and even more people internationally, nationally, and internationally on the video broadcasting.
Absolutely, and we encourage more and more and more to come on board. We emphasize that next year is going to be the 70th anniversary of the National Family Island Regatta, so a significant milestone. And you probably want to get your product in and sponsorship in as early as possible. Well, Captain Plug, the chase has caught the Dove, but she's not really doing anything else.
Nope, they haven't overtaken. They're pretty much neck and neck right there. Sail size pretty obvious, especially on the foot or the bottom. And Susan Chase got to keep at least one boat length clear of the Lonesome Dove, so that'll be 21 feet minimum. And it looks like they're doing a pretty good job of that. Still neck and neck. Trying to keep the boat as steady as possible to avoid spilling any of the wind out of the sails. So it appears that Susan Chase sail a little taller, but definitely much bigger on the foot.
And you talked about that scoop in the sail and how important that is for generating additional speed on a bed.
Absolutely, Dwight. Ideally, you want that dragging almost right on the top of the water just to scoop up every ounce of wind.
And you can see coming behind
Tarianne.
Barbarian and then Lady Sonia trying to play catch up right now. But with the speed of the top boats in Class B, if you don't get out with them, you're not going to have a chance. And so the top two boats making their way to the downwind marker. Susan Chase now pulling ahead slightly on the Lonesome Dove, but it's close.
Looks like Lonesome Dove may be going for the crossover to try to get on the inside, maybe.
When they get to the mark, it's gonna try to dip under. And we may get into another tacking duel on the way back up to the
I'd love to see that.
upwind marker like we saw yesterday. This is a dandy of a race between Abaco and Long Island. We saw the same thing yesterday, just about. Almost identical race as yesterday's race, where the Lonesome Dove took the mark first on the upwind side, and on the downwind leg, Susan Chase caught her. And then it was a tacking duel back up to the upwind mark.
There goes number one and number two around the leeward marker, leaving it to starboard.
Susan
Lonesome
Chase
Dove
around.
needs to pinch up real tight. Stefan did a magnificent job of pinching up. Dove can copy that and get above them. If not, they'll have to tack out pretty quick to get out of the dirty air. Great drone shot of the fleet coming downwind.
As the two top boats and are heading back on port, and then they will swing over starboard and make their way back up to the upwind mark. And so from here on in right now, it's basically going to be, what is the strategy? Who's going to blink first? Who's going to tack first? Is the Dove prepared to sail Susan Chase all the way out, or is she going to try to go underneath at some point sooner? And just as I've said it, they've decided to tack. And
Yeah, they were just in the dirty air. Well, Chase is going to cover them.
Yep. And so I believe we're going to see almost the same race we saw yesterday, where these two boats just tack on tack.
We got number 33 there, the Tarianne.
Duking it out with the Udiva.
Getting close to the leeward marker. Ants Nest in Anson has 2 to be precise in 5th place. Udiva with the inside line. Tarian's going to try to do what the Lonesome Dove did. Come up in tight to the marker and try to get above Udiva. There we go. Let's see if young Knowles can do this. Lift.
And I believe he may have accomplished it.
I'd say Tarian is going to be above Udiva shortly. There we go.
And the Dove now going back on another tack. So here we go. Yesterday all over again. Susan Chase covering almost
covering.
immediately.
If they don't and the Dove goes off on her own, it's hard to keep track of where you are. Yeah, so if you stay close and cover, you can hold your position. Ant Nest a little wide coming around the marker there. In a solid 5th place.
And she's going to be followed by Lady Sonia. Barbarian, I believe.
And the Cobra.
And Cobra. So we're going to watch this little dance between Lady Sonia and the Dove. All the way back to the upwind mark. We'll see. That's already 1 tack. We're going to count them as they go up and down. Up and down.
I was talking to the skipper of the Lonesome Dove last night, and I asked him what was motivation behind the tacking duel. He said, well, not only is it fun, but by forcing Susan Chase to tack to cover us, possibly they'll make a mistake and allow us to improve our position. So
yep, that is the intent.
Attacking duel is better than just play and follow the leader.
Yeah, absolutely. Call it making them work for it.
Susan Chase out front, Lonesome Dove a little higher above them, I think.
A little higher and a little further behind.
Let's see if Susan Chase could make.
Here comes attack.
Make it a little. Yep, there we go.
And Susan Chase wasting no time at all covering.
A little slow there, getting the sail trimmed.
And that is exactly what the Dove wants.
That's right.
Every time you can lose 1 to 2 seconds on attack means you can gain some ground. And I believe that Jeff is going to test Stefan's tacking abilities for the rest of his leg. As soon as he gets enough forward speed, I think he's going to tack again.
There you see race committee flying the flag, keeping a close eye on things.
After yesterday's contact between the Legend and the Tidal Wave, I think any of these races where we have 2 sloops sailing close enough to each other to have some type of interaction, there's going to be a lot of scrutiny.
So the fleet is working their way along the first of 3 windward legs in this B Cup race today, B-class Cup race.
And this race will go officially towards the first points in this 3-point series race. And if we get all of the races in, then these will count as the first set of points. If for some reason we're unable to sail any of the other races, then yesterday's Cup race will come into play as far as scoring is concerned. But right now, nifty sailing out there. Susan Chase in first place, Lonesome Dove in second. And I believe right now it looks like the Lonesome Dove may be sailing just slightly faster than the Susan Chase, gaining a little bit of ground, I believe. And And so if that's the case, Jeff may decide to try to run it down now that he's on the same lay, basically. I see that that lead is being diminished. 33, Tarian still having issues with getting that sail fully flush, but holding on to third place. And that Dove is flying right now. She is definitely gaining some ground on Susan Chase.
Dove generally goes very well upwind.
She's definitely sailing extremely well at the moment. I think those guys may have found a third gear.
Tarian a bit behind him in third place with the sail still flapping.
And again, sailing a much bigger sail, seemingly, than even Susan Chase. Full headboard.
I noticed that, yeah. It's got a lot of canvas on the top. Fourth place, I think, still Udiva. Fifth, Ant's Nest.
And Sonia.
And we got Sonia, Barbarian, and Cobra. A few more spectator boats out this afternoon than we had yesterday.
Yep.
The weekend is coming on. If you
Yep.
don't have any plans for the weekend, come on down to Georgetown Exuma and take in some of this regatta action.
And I believe that the Dove has gained, shortened that lead by about a second or two since they went around the leeward mark. Gone from about 10 seconds to now they're down to about 7 to 8 seconds separating those boats.
Definitely close the gap a bit. Hard to tell from this angle on the screen here if the Dove is still much above Susan Chase.
It's gonna have to catch on the upper leg because I believe that Susan Chase has got a little bit more firepower coming back down. So this is the leg. If you're gonna do any damage, has to happen on the upwind leg. And the Dove thrashing water like there's no tomorrow. Showing the speed that that boat has.
And Tarian in the foreground, although she's below them a bit, looks like she's getting some speed on, even with that sail flapping at the top there. Too much headboard.
Yeah, just too much headboard.
And it's just, oh, that's a huge sail, Dwight. Look at that,
yeah,
man.
Yeah, they got more sail than they need right now.
So right to left, you got Tarian, Susan Chase, Lonesome Dove.
So there you have it, folks. We are bringing you live the first points race B-class sailing here in Elizabeth Harbor, 69th Annual National Family Island Regatta 2025. Dwight Howard along with Captain Plug, who's bringing all of his knowledge and wisdom about sailing to the broadcast. I've been getting all kinds of compliments and comments, Captain Plug, people who are listening. Very impressed with your extensive knowledge and being able to explain exactly what's happening on the course and the difference between the boats, the sizes, the dimensions. And so we're very grateful for that and happy to have you bring that level of expertise and knowledge to these broadcasts.
Thank you very much for the feedback, Dwight. It's a pleasure. I've only done this a little bit. Last year at the Best of the Best, I helped call a C-class race. You know, I got my start in junior sailing, age 12.
Yeah.
Not because I wanted to learn how to sail, but because it was something to do on Saturday. And I'll tell you, looking back on it, it's one of the best things that ever happened in my life, is learning how to sail. Teaches you excellent life skills, teamwork, problem solving, critical thinking. Get your youngsters involved in sailing, folks. It's the national sport of the Bahamas.
Absolutely. There's a shot of Lady Sonia. And she's using sail number 17, which I believe is probably the big, large for the Bull Reg.
Bull Reg, yeah. Bull Reg, number 17. So we got a little bit of sales strategy going on here today, folks, with Buzzy on Lady Sonia using his large from the C class. And we got the Lonesome Dove using what may be the large from the It Ain't Right. Sail choice is always critical. You want the one that's going to be just right for the wind and conditions. See how it all shakes out. Here's your, where are we? Your two top boats. Susan Chase in the middle.
Is that the Dove at the top?
Is that the Dove at the top?
Not sure. Can't tell. Can't tell from this. We're going to get our drone. It definitely looks like a dark colored boat. If that's the case, we'll see whether the Dove has outmaneuvered Susan Chase once again.
Well, if that's the Dove over there coming around the marker and then Chase behind them, then I'd say Lonesome Dove did very well on the upwind leg. I think that was the second upwind leg. I may have said the first.
Chase first.
Chase first, okay.
I'm told the Chase first, Dove second. Okay, so we must have missed the Chase going around. What we're seeing is the Dove followed by Tarianne with that fluttering sail. Makes sense. And the drone can sweep around just a bit so we can pick up how far the Chase is in front. And I don't even see the Chase in view. And I can't say that she was that far ahead.
Boy, they really stepped it out.
We're gonna have to see where the Chase is.
Is that the Chase on the left?
Yep, Chase on the left, and now the Dove coming into view now.
It's like an ant nest going around the marker.
So the Chase has definitely put some distance between her and the Dove. And again, with that bigger main sheet on the bed, we expect that the Chase will probably increase her lead now on this downwind leg. All things being considered.
Here we have the top two boats. Stefan Nell skipper.
That was a quick leg. I mean, these boats got back down in front of us really, really, really quick.
When they get to the leeward marker, that'll be the completion of 2 laps. And they'll do a third windward and then a dash to the freight dock to finish.
And so the Dove will have one more opportunity to attack Susan Chase on the upwind leg.
Yes, they will. Pretty good distance between second and third place there. So the 2 top boats have really poured on the coals and are moving out. Susan Chase out of Mangrove Bush, Long Island. Skipper Stephen Knowles. Lonesome Dove, Abaco, Hopetown Abaco. Skipper Jeff Gale.
And we see them coming up on Cobra, who seems to have retired from this race.
Cobra sail is down. Yeah, I'd say they're going to be a DNF. Now they're going to be an obstruction for the Dove. Looks like Dove is going to clear them to the stern. Meanwhile, Susan Chase just cruising along that larger sail. See if Jeff can do some of that skipper stuff on the final windward coming up.
Yep.
It's like Susan Chase getting ready to bring that jib in. You know, I think that's Udiva there. Chase is still holding the sail out, so they've still got a little bit to go to get to that leeward marker. Shouldn't be too much further. And Chase has brought the jib over. Preparation for rounding the marker, leaving it to starboard. There's the leeward marker.
Yep.
Susan Chase lining up, going to try and tighten up real hard on it. There goes Stefan, bring her up into the wind. Trim your sails. Pretty nice, clean marker rounding there. How long before they tack over?
And on the last downwind, the Dove was right on her stern. This time, not as close.
Dove coming around.
Going around, and we'll see whether it doesn't make sense to follow her, I don't think, on this leg.
You know, it only makes sense for the Dove to tack pretty soon to try to see if they can get a lift. Maybe try to go right up the middle. Whoops.
Keeping her roped in.
A different shape headboard on that boat there is kind of flat as opposed to the others that are curved.
And it looks like the Dove is not wasting any time and trying to do something different. They are already now back on the starboard leg.
Crew out on the prize.
Udiva getting ready to go around the mark.
Udiva in third place, coming up on the leeward marker here.
Susan Chase wasted no time in covering the Dove's tack.
Well, Stefan knows that Jeff is a force to be reckoned with, so he can't let him slide by. You gotta stay on top, otherwise you might lose out. Terry Ann. Sail trim looks a little better right now.
Yep. Aunt's Nest.
Ant's Nest is named so because when they were building here, it was taking a long time, and one of the crew, they were standing around one day looking at the pieces of lumber that would become the Ant's Nest. And one of the crew said to the owner that, man, if we don't get this boat built pretty soon, all this lumber here is going to turn into an ant's nest.
Interesting factoid there on where the name Ant's Nest came from. And there's the Ant's Nest making our way around.
Hot in pursuit of Terry Ann there, number 33. Skip it and crewed entirely by juniors. Is that right, Dwight?
Absolutely. Entire crew from the Exuma Sailing Club. Young Josh Knowles, the son of Dallas Knowles, the Commodore. Also sails Lady Kayla in the E-Class.
They need to do something with that mainsail, though. That just does not look good. Folks, it's all about the juniors. Get your young people involved in sailing. It's now the national sport of the Bahamas. It has been for 2 years. It's a good thing. Get your kids involved. For us older folks, we're going to time out.
And I can tell you, on forward speed, the Dove definitely looks like she's sailing with a little bit more forward speed than Susan Chase. But She's going to have to come back quite a bit to get to where the Susan Chase is on the course line, because I don't think from her current lay that she's got a direct line to the mark.
It almost appears that possibly Susan Chase with that large sail might be a little overpowered going upwind, whereas a Dove with a smaller sail better suited for the upwind, but then it's the opposite going downwind.
Yep, absolutely.
That big sail on the Susan Chase there is just going to outpower a smaller sail with the number 72 on the Lonesome Dove.
Totally agree. But I'll tell you, whereas the Dove and Lady Sonia may be swapping sails from their smaller sister sloops, Stefan has got a sail for every wind condition.
I think he does.
For all of his boats. So there's no swapping with Sassy Sue. He's got every type, size needed for whatever wind condition presents itself.
Yep, I've never seen anything other than a number 4 sail on that boat, which is their number.
Yep, absolutely.
So we're about 40 minutes into the race. Won't be long before the boats are up to the windward marker. Then it'll be a short dash, semi-downwind, maybe a bit of a reach over here to the finish line by the regatta site and freight dock. Beautiful drone shot of Elizabeth Harbor there.
Absolutely beautiful. If you look closely, you can see the turtle sunbathing.
I saw a turtle by the booth here this morning.
Yep, he was just showing his face just a little while ago.
Number 4, Susan Chase out of Long Island. Number 72 is not the correct number. Lonesome Dove is actually number 18 out of Hopetown, Abaco. Duking it out for first place here in the first of the 3 points races in the 69th annual National Family Island Regatta. It's like Dove has a larger jib than Susan Chase. That jib goes up pretty high.
And managing to keep it pretty full too. So that may be the advantage for her on the upwind leg, being able to generate just a little bit more speed, sailing with 2 tight sails. Jib covering almost to the main sheet.
Susan Chase is above Lonesome Dove, which is an advantage. Dove will have to tack. They'll both have to tack to get to the marker, but Dove will have a further distance to travel.
Yeah, I think safe to say, unless Susan Chase misstages on attack, she's got this one pretty wrapped up. And there goes the Dove now. I believe they realize that it's better to try and take your medicine now. Get back.
You definitely don't want to sail too far away from the marker.
And this tells you now the distance between the Chase and the Dove, because she's going to have to sail up to get on the same line as the Susan Chase. Meanwhile, Susan Chase sailing forward, separating herself even more from the Dove.
So once again, the B-class race this afternoon, sponsored by the Islander B Ocean Spirit. I'd like to take a moment to recognize the race committee for this 69th annual National Family Island Regatta. Working hard to keep the racing on time and going smoothly. You got Dallas Knowles, who's the PRO, or the Principal Race Officer, ably assisted by Clyde Rose, Stafford Ambassador, Robert Roll, Dimitri Smith, Ricardo Roll, Dave Moxie, Ezra Kemp, Derek Moxie, Michael Knowles, Sandy Trico, and Marissa Ferguson as your hard-working race committee. We also have the protest committee, and they've been in action as well because we've already had several protests. Even though this is only the second day of racing, we got the chief protest officer is Luke Bethel, assisted by Cecil Smith, Dwayne Higgins, Gerard Moxie, Larry Bastian, and the appeals judge is Reg Smith. We thank them all for their time and their hard work to make this regatta successful. The top boats are out of the sight of the naked eye here from the broadcast booth. There's the Lonesome Dove with their seaboat sail. Susan Chase is off to the right of your screen. And Monument Beach in the background over there in Stocking Island. And Chat and Chill. So if you know any of those folks, the names I called off there from the race committee or the protest committee, when you see them next, shake their hand, thank them for their service to the National Family Island Regatta. Can't do it without a full, dedicated team.
Absolutely. It's all teamwork involved with putting on these regattas. The protest committee, I believe, selected during your skippers meeting. It comes from folks that are in the sailing community. And this year, I think, gives us the best view of the distance between Susan Chase.
Chase has a pretty good lead now over the Dove. Now?
And we're being told that the boats are going to be actually finishing at this point. And so we're going to see the finish line come into view. And so no more tacks, just going between the two boats. And there are your two committee boats.
A little more space than they gave the E-class for a finishing line.
Yeah, I think this regatta is turning out to be a first for many reasons, including the smallest finish line, tightest finish line ever seen in sailing.
Meanwhile, Susan Chase just chugging right along. Looks like they'll hit the finish line right smack in the middle. Great drone shot of the background there. Cruising boat fleet over by Stocking Island.
And congratulations, Stephanos and the crew from Susan Chase.
Actually, he's going to take the finish line.
I think we saw
There's
a puff
the gun.
of smoke and the gun.
Yep. Congratulations to Susan Chase on their first place this afternoon.
Yep, back to back.
First points race, so they'll go into the final 2 days of racing with only 1 point. Finishing order stays like this, Dove will have 2 points and be in second place. What tomorrow might bring, so be sure to tune in for all the live coverage.
Absolutely. Dove through in second place.
Skipper may be second guessing his sail selection, but second it is for the Lonesome Dove out of Hopetown, Abaco.
And I believe we may have somehow lost Tarianne in the race, because I don't think that Tarianne is currently still in third place.
Well, that's Udiver and Ants Nest.
Udiver and Ants Nest. Tarianne all the way seems to have gotten some issues that we didn't see on camera.
No, I didn't see anything.
And she's gone all the way back to 6th or 7th place at this point, because Udiver is going to be in third, followed by Ants Nest in fourth, and I believe Lady Sonia in fifth.
Get the drone to pull back a bit. We might be able to see Lady Sonia.
Just at the top of your screen to your left.
Ah, yes.
And then Tarianne falling in behind.
Ah, yes, right, gotcha.
In 6th place. Barbarian, nowhere to be seen. And
Cobra had already retired.
Cobra already retired. And so congratulations to you, Diva.
Third place for you, Diva.
And Snares through in fourth place. Lady Sonia, fifth.
I think
Tarian in sixth.
Buzzy's lucky to pull out a fifth from that terrible start they had this afternoon.
Yeah. Repeat of yesterday.
Sure, Buzzy could probably eat nails right now.
Well, if it helps him any, he can try to redeem himself in the A class by bringing Silent Partner across to another finish, first place.
I'm sure Buzzy and the crew would like nothing better, as the people out of Black Point would too.
You better believe it.
So the B class race just about an hour, folks. I know the A class is scheduled at 4, maybe a little bit after that, but be sure to tune in. It's the big boys coming up next. You don't want to miss any of the action. If yesterday's race was an indication of what we might see today, then you'll definitely want to get a cold Coke and
be ready.
Get a seat and be ready in front of your screen.
And with the wind speeds way up as they are, that race we anticipate would also be very, very quick. I think this race over and done with in about 40 minutes.
Yeah, that's a pretty quick race. Now it's, well, the race committee's got to get the course realigned. And then a lot of these fellows that sailed in the B class here this afternoon will shift over to the A class boat. So that takes a few minutes, but we'll try to get it going as quick as possible.
All right, well, that's being said, I think it's a good time for us to sign off on this particular leg of the broadcast. And we'll be back with A-class sailing here from Elizabeth Harbor, Georgetown.
Don't miss it.
You don't want to miss it for sure.
Welcome to Paradise Games, where exceptional service meets the ultimate gaming experience. Our dedicated team is here to make every visit a win.
Now this is paradise.
This is more than just a place to play.
Now this is paradise.
It's where excitement meets world-class service.
Now this is paradise.
Now this is paradise.
Come, experience it for yourself. Now this is paradise.
Man, I gotta clean up in here, man, and they're dirty.
We're looking at giving you some help, man.
But who is, boy?
A talking tree?
Where is?
This is Island, Pine Island, where every scent brings a different world. We've got lavender, floral, and moss. But today, it's about the pine. Try it.
All right, thanks, man. Appreciate it, man. Appreciate it.
Hey, boy.
Huh?
2 push and 2 pace.
This magical pine potion gives you 28 uses per bottle, twice as concentrated, all with real pine oil freshness. Penalin, twice the power, twice the freshness.
With BGC's crystal clear mobile service, stay connected seamlessly, whether on land or at sea. Our reliable postpaid plans keep your loved ones closer, no matter where life takes you.
The road to progress is paved with purpose, and in Exuma, Bahamas Striping Group of Companies is leading the way. We're transforming communities with safer, smoother, and stronger roads. This isn't just infrastructure, it's empowerment, it's jobs, and it's a better future for Exumians. Bahamas Striping,